Have you ever felt like the conversations in the music industry and in other industries as well, they feel a little robotic? Thank you for your time. I appreciate this. Look forward to hearing from you. These are all the signs of a phenomenon called transactional relationships. And while there is nothing really wrong with this, I believe if you work in a creative field, especially if you're an artist, then relying solely on these surface level connections might actually be holding you back. And you can potentially lose some really meaningful connections, which might be crucial for your life and for your career in general. First of all, I'm really happy that you're here. This is my first video. My name is Dan. I'm a music producer and sound engineer with over 10 years of experience in the music industry as a producer, as an artist, as a very active music consumer. And in this video, I want to discuss a topic of transactional relationships and how they can potentially hurt or benefit your career. I also want to share some advice and share how I prefer to connect with other creatives in this industry. And I'm pretty sure that you can find some useful information here as well. So let's get into it. So let's start with defining what transactional relationship is. A transactional relationship is one where the focus is solely on the exchange, what each person can get from the other. It's polite, professional, but often it lacks depth or authenticity. Here are a few examples in music. Surface level compliments in emails like, "Your music is awesome, let's collab." Other words, all-time favorite, "collab bro." Networking events where everyone just swaps cards without any meaningful conversation, just hoping to get something from the other person. Collaborations that are driven only by hype or follower counts. Simply the feeling that you're communicating with a person who talks to you with generic phrases only. Do you recognize any of these? So why transactional relationships are okay sometimes? Let's start with acknowledging some of their benefits, because there definitely are. And the first thing, such as they keep things professional. There are some people who only operate this language. This is the way their mind is wired. And you still have to make connections with these people in the music industries. Those are managers, A&Rs, executives, label executives, music supervisors, and they all operate this corporate type of language. So we still have to connect with them as well. Another thing is transactional relationships are often necessary to establish those initial connections. Again, with the same type of people who I just mentioned. This is the language they operate, and it is absolutely fine when you adjust to this, because this is the way they are simply used to doing things. And last thing, they are efficient for business. The problem is when these relationships are the only kind that you build. I want to emphasize why genuine connections matter so much in creative industries, such as music. The first thing that comes to my mind is creative chemistry. The best music comes from authentic collaboration. When you connect on a deeper level, you create a safe space to share ideas, experiment, and grow together. The best examples would be creating with someone together in the studio or performing on the stage with someone. If you have ever had any of these experiences, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. This creative energy that is between you and another person, this is something that is beyond words. This is how masterpieces are created. Sustainable growth. Genuine relationships stand the test of time. People want to work with others they trust and respect, not just someone chasing a quick win. This has become especially huge in hip-hop, where people started selling collaborations, their features, and there's nothing wrong with that as well. I'm not against it at all. In fact, I do have some artists who I work with who also charge for features. That is absolutely fine. This is how they make a living. However, this is just another example of transactional relationships. And it still should not prevent you from building genuine connections, amazing personal connections. The music industry is tough. If I didn't have people who I genuinely care about, as well as if I haven't made some really amazing people who I can call my friends, I would give up on music long ago. Well, this is the way I am. I'm a very open and transparent person, and I really prefer to build genuine connections with everyone who I'm talking to. This is not always possible because some people, of course, are closed for that. But as I said, this is the way I am, and this is the way I assume a lot of creative individuals are as well, in my experience. If I wasn't like that, I would probably work some corporate job, not in the creative industry. And throughout my journey, I have already met so many incredible individuals all over the world, in all parts of our planet, who I have been communicating with for years, and who I can really call my friends, with whom I can discuss not only music related stuff or work related stuff, but just talk about life, because we share same values, we have the same views. So how do we actually build genuine connections with other creatives? Well, the first thing is be genuinely curious about others. Ask questions beyond work. What inspires them? What are they working on right now? Is there any way you can contribute to that if you're interested? Maybe you can create something together. Maybe you share some similar views on the world, on how things work. Find some common ground. Second thing, give before you ask. Offer some value without expecting anything in return. And I'm not talking about something material. It can be a simple encouragement, feedback, a piece of advice, or a compliment. People do really appreciate it. Focus on shared goals. Instead of thinking, what can I get out of this? Ask, what can we create together? Is there anything we share in common? Take time to build trust. Meaningful relationships don't happen overnight. Take your time with this and let them develop naturally. Be authentic in communication. Stop worrying about the perfect email script or whatever. For example, if you want to compliment someone on their music, sometimes all you have to say is just what's on your mind. When I'm reaching out to someone whose music I really liked, I just like to share how his or her music made me feel, or which part of the song is my favorite, or what I like the most about it. Same with sending out the emails. If you're submitting your music, let's say, to a music supervisor to get some sync placements or whatever, start with complimenting what they have done already. Start with complimenting their music taste, the music that they have chosen for the previous project. Your art is personal, and the connections you build should be too. Think about someone in your network who you would love to connect on a deeper level. Hit them up. Suggest jumping on a call. Ask how they are doing. Ask what they are working on. Don't just focus on work. Just ask how things are going in their life. There's also an incredible advice that I heard a long time ago on some podcast that says that instead of building a network of thousands of people, focus on 100 the most important connections over there and develop them instead. Follow up on those people on a regular basis. Jump on the phone calls with them. Follow up on their projects. See what they're working on. See if there's something you could help with. And people don't forget that. People will not forget you after that. An important thing to admit is that, of course, it doesn't relate to all kinds of people. There will always be people who will just try to take advantage of you or your skills. So just trust your gut feeling. Trust people who you vibe with. This is the way I prefer to do things, because my work feels so much more fulfilling and meaningful when I connect with incredible people who potentially can become my friends. I probably would not work with someone who's just not my vibe. And this feels so much different compared to when I was working a corporate job. Back in the days, I had to get in touch with people and network only to benefit the company that I was working for. And this, of course, didn't feel fulfilling at all. However, right now, I feel like every connection that I make, every person who I get to know, this is rather personal. This is not just for work or just for some benefit or whatever. This is personal. This is actually my personal connection. This is me learning something about other culture. This is me learning another person. This is me getting to know someone else's story, developing the relationship with artists is something that has helped me to take my career to the next level. And I really encourage you to do the same, whether you are an artist or whether you are a musician, a guitarist, whatever you do, to be honest. If you work in a creative industry, this is what I really encourage you. This is how I really encourage you to build relationships with other people. So I hope you find some information useful. As I said, this is my first video and I would really love to connect with you. If you feel like you want to just say hi, feel free to DM me on Instagram. If you want to share some of your music, or maybe you would want to work on a project together, check out my website for more information. And yeah, I'm super happy to connect with you, and I appreciate your time watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you soon.